With the DC film Birds of Prey quickly approaching, we thought it would be a good idea to take a closer look at one of their famed core members, Huntress. She will be played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead in the film. You may recognize Winstead as the actress who played Ramona Flowers in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, if you are a Scott Pilgrim fan. Huntress is Helena Bertinelli, born into one of Gotham's most powerful mob families. Helena is a skilled and trained fighter with no powers. She is known in the comics as being a violent vigilante who will go to any lengths to defeat her foes. We'll be learning more about Helena today as we take a look at some of the more shocking facts about her and her history in the comics, as we are counting down the top 10 shocking Huntress facts that you need to know. You need to know them. So get ready to be shocked and learn some interesting things. Let's get counting. Number 10. Backstory Retcon. Originally, Huntress was introduced under the alias of Helena Wayne from the alternate universe of Earth 2. Helena Wayne was the daughter of Earth 2's Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle, who was raised to be a superior athlete by her parents. She made her comic debut in DC Superstar issue 17 in 1977. This version of Helena would become a vigilante after avenging her mother's death. Selina Kyle had only resumed her Catwoman persona after being blackmailed into it by her old boss, and during her time as Catwoman met her demise. After getting revenge, Helena decided to continue on as a vigilante, also knowing that her father was Batman and seeing Dick Grayson's Robin like an older brother. She moved out of the family home and adopted alias Huntress. It wasn't until 1989, when Helena Bertinelli was introduced, that this backstory would change, and later Bertinelli's appearance would change somewhat to differentiate her when Helena Wayne was reintroduced to DC and the two characters were classified as completely separate people. Number 9. She kills people. Most vigilantes have a certain code that they live by. As a character who is originally so tied to Batman, you would think that Helena would also have that in the form of specifically a no-kill policy, and yet she does not. Helena is an interesting vigilante and member of the Birds of Prey because she is so violent and kills without question. Impassioned kills. Bertinelli doesn't see an issue with it. Her motto was always blood cries for blood, an eye for an eye type herself. Since her original appearance, this has been toned down somewhat to appease other vigilantes and teams that she works with. On more than one occasion, her violent tendencies have gotten her into trouble with her former team, Birds of Prey, whose members tend to disagree on the whole to kill or not to kill thing. Number 8. Kinda sucks at fighting. Okay, so Huntress is known for being an amazing fighter and in some iterations a trained assassin. So, how could she be bad at fighting? For this, I'd like to cite one specific issue in the comics, one that saw her lose almost immediately in a fight against Lady Shiva. In Birds of Prey Volume 2 Issue 6, Huntress steps up to fight Lady Shiva in Dinah Blake's place in order to save the little girl Sin, as Dinah is suffering from a broken wrist at the time and finds herself unable to fight. Now, Lady Shiva is obviously an expert level fighter, and we probably expected her to be on another level when compared to Helena, but Shiva immediately starts kicking Helena's butt. Yeah, there's like no hesitancy. And Helena seems to reveal that she somehow has forgotten how to dodge. She is resilient though, no matter what she just keeps getting back up, but she also keeps taking hits. Shiva even gives her the name Iron Owl in respect for her resilience at the end of the fight. But I still think the fight would have gone better for her if she'd remembered how to simply just get out of the way of a hit. Just dodge, Helena. Regardless, the fight is called off and Helena gets to walk away with her life. Number 7. Nightwing. So while admittedly a relationship between Dick Grayson and Helena Bertinelli is not odd in the slightest, a relationship between the Helena Wayne incarnation of her character and Dick Grayson from Earth 2 would be weird, right? And yet the two also have a thing in that continuity as well. I know. Really weird. In the Wonder Woman series, no less, we get some insight into how the pretty much step siblings feel about one another. In Wonder Woman Volume 1, Issue 284, despite the two referring to each other as brother and sister constantly, there is an undeniable sexual tension and a line where Robin refers to changing Helena as a baby as peaking privileges. Ugh. Like Helena Bertinelli and Nightwing can have been a thing, but the fact that it might have been inspired by their Earth 2 counterparts' desire to hook up in the original comics is creepy and weird. Number 6. Like Barbara Gordon. Batman has never really approved of Huntress. She is more violent than he would like her to be, and her willingness to kill has never sat well with the Batman. He does eventually come to approve of her, even at first watching her when she first dons a Batgirl costume, preferring to observe than to stop her right off the bat. pun not intended. His dislike of her is explored by Commissioner Gordon, who asks why Batman seems to take issue with her involvement. Batman responds with, "You know exactly why I disapprove. You're not the only one she reminds of Barbara," revealing that he has almost protective-like feelings towards Huntress, and possibly doesn't want her to get hurt like Barbara Gordon did when Joker targeted her as part of an attack on her father and crippled her with a gunshot. Number 5. Not her father's daughter. While Helena often throws around her family name, proudly claiming to be a part of the big mafia family of the Bertinellis, the truth is that she isn't really one. Well, at least not in terms of her male genealogy. Helena was born from an affair her mother had. Her mother took solace in another man after she was beaten on the regular by her husband and Helena's pseudo-father. In fact, he even knew the child was not his and continued to beat her mother throughout the pregnancy, though both the baby and Helena's mother survived the abuse, resulting in Helena being born. Number 4. Most wanted woman in the world. When Helena Bertinelli was reintroduced as part of the New 52 continuity, we saw her in the 2014 series Grayson, which follows her team up with Dick as they work together as spies for Spiral, a United Nations covert operation. This was interesting because in the original New 52 reboot, Bertinelli was thought dead, and Helena Wayne from Earth 2 was the only Huntress to have been reintroduced. Bertinelli was revealed in Grayson Annual 1 to have been thought dead for 5 years, but have actually been off the grid, choosing to run instead of taking up the mantle as the head of her criminal mob family. She's even said to be the most wanted woman in the world. Whoa, dangerous. Number 3. Had a threesome with Lady Blackhawk and Hal Jordan. Yes, 3 is for threesome. Well, it was briefly implied, at least, that this threesome happened. In the Justice League Cry for Justice series in issue 2, Hal Jordan says to Green Arrow that he has something to tell him. Green Arrow's response to Hal is, if it is about him and Zinda Blake and Huntress and a bottle of grappa, that Dinah already told him, and all he has to say about it is, well played. If we can believe Oliver Queen to have been serious and Dinah Blake's Black Canary to be trustworthy, then this is most likely something that happened off the pages of the comics. I personally would at least believe that Huntress and Zinda hooked up. Those two just have some mad chemistry in the comics in my opinion, and I guess Hal could be thrown into that mix. Swept up in the chemistry. Number 2. Traded sex for training. This happened in the Arrowverse. In this iteration, Helena is the daughter of crime boss Frank Bertinelli, but she does not approve of her father's activities and begins collecting evidence against him in an effort to turn him in to the FBI. Her father, however, finds out about this but believes that Helena's fiance Michael was actually behind the plot against him. As such, he has him killed, prompting Helena to seek revenge. Originally, she went to Sicily in her grief and discovered a group of trained assassins, L'Amore Sacerata. I'm gonna apologize in advance, I'm not good at speaking Italian. But basically what that means is it means the whispered death. She began sleeping with members of the group in order to integrate herself and eventually become a trained killer and fighter. I don't know why she didn't just ask to be part of the group, but there you have it. Later in the show, she also dates Oliver Queen and sleeps with him, and then he trains her in archery, giving her her famous crossbow. I mean, I guess that's one way to guarantee you get the training you're looking for, but I don't know if you have to sleep with people in order to be trained. Number 1. Family was murdered. Whether we are talking about Helena Wayne or Helena Bertinelli, vengeance always seems to be the main motivation for her violent ways and her tendency to kill her opponents. In Bertinelli's case, it is the death of her family that leads to her training and becoming Huntress, in order to uncover who murdered her family and why, and then get revenge. When she was just a little girl, Stefano Mandragora put a hit on her family and ordered his man to spare the sister. He was actually referring to Helena's mother with this instruction, but this was misinterpreted and led to Helena being the only one spared instead. Basically, if you want something done and you want it done right, you need to be more specific, man. Thank you so much for watching, Nerd Squad. I hope you found some of these facts as shocking as I did. I know I personally find the confusing go between her and Helena Wayne to be super interesting and super confusing, though both iterations of Huntress are awesome in their own right, whether it's Helena Wayne or Helena Bertinelli. What is your favorite Huntress team up? Who is your favorite incarnation of Huntress? Do you want to learn more about her or other Birds of Prey members? Or do you want to learn more about Helena Wayne? Let us know in the comments below. And while you are on your way down to the comments, remember to like, subscribe, share, and ring that bell so you get all the nerdy notifications. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and I'm your host Amanda McKnight, reminding you, as always, to stay nerdy, YouTube.